As agentic AI starts coming into our executions, and we start thinking about the outcomes it's going to be delivering versus traditional programmatic means, as we start to see that take shape, what we're ultimately finding is that it's allowing for more automation that's being automated versus the human telling the automation to do it. So it's really about the speed in which we're able to make optimizations into our practice. Now, from an outcomes perspective, we're going to start to really learn over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months as that starts to really develop at scale, and we start to see more cross-platform, cross-channel outcomes, and starting to get to the right weight of the right impressions by channel, then by partner, to then deliver those optimal outcomes for our clients.
So, Brad, from an investment perspective, then, how does agentic buying change when media dollars flow and which platforms formats get prioritized?
Yeah, well, from an investment perspective, we should always be optimizing our dollars to the right partners that are going to deliver the optimal outcome. So from an agentic AI now starting to play its role in that decision-making process, it's going to have more data points and signals at our fingertips to then start putting that right impression to the right person at the right time to deliver the right outcome. So the answer to that is we're going to find out. We're going to start to see that really develop as we start to look at those channels, but then most importantly, by partner inside of those channels to really deliver the optimal outcomes for our clients.
So, Bradley, I want to return to the idea of investment strategy for a second. That process has always been about allocating budget across channels and platforms. How does that change, though, when agentic systems are making those decisions?
Well, at the end of the day, again, we should be optimizing towards that biggest outcome. What I would say is it's not getting further upstream with our clients and having the conversation of what does optimizations mean across channels. So we're less strict with our budgets inside of these channels with a very clear understanding of what the ultimate outcome is. So whether that's an awareness outcome, a consideration, an actual action, a closed loop sale, we want to make sure those KPIs are clearly fed in and each channel is delivering for its role across your omni-channel execution. So that's what's really going to lead to how we start to see our investment strategies really take shape on which partners are going to be clearing more impressions. But in theory, those partners are clearing more impressions because they're delivering more efficient, effective outcomes for our brand. So that's a part of the game that's going to be really developing as we move forward and start to really understand the power of agentic AI and the success it's driving for our business outcomes.
So, Brad, depending on your perspective on this one, this is either a crystal ball question or a wish list question. What's the biggest shift in how brands and agencies need to think about media investment in an agentic buying world?
Yeah, I mean, the first is we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And what we really mean by that is having less of those strict guardrails that this spend within this channel, but having that ability to have fluidity across our omni-channel executions. That's what's going to allow us to really utilize the power of the data and technology that's at our fingertips and be able to, again, to deliver what we're trying to achieve is that most efficient, effective outcome for our clients.